To Jesse Dollarmore from the Weaver John City, Roseman, California. It's 6:08 West Coast time, PM. March the 18th, 2024. Yeah, I'm responding to that one you did this morning concerning about Steve Bannon. Already any links, I've already sent it out of what I found on there. Um, it was from the keynote address from the Patrons for America Statecraft Conference. There was an article on WN.com regarding this. It said Steve Bannon, quote, you have to be prepared to go to prison, unquote, for the Trump movement. I keep always forgetting about the damn First Amendment. I have to keep educating your ass on this one. And I'm not even a lawyer, layman, just a guy who's living and reading too much of this stuff. You ought to know better than that, Jess. Shit. So I found the article, and I went over to YouTube. I popped in that American movement posting that they did a few days ago. 4 days ago, actually. It's called Steve K. Bannon Keynote Address / Patrons for American Statecraft Conference. A whole subject matter of Steve Bannon mouthing off like crazy. How come you never put that in your videos? Never put those damn things in there for people to research? You know, you do all this research, Jess, but I swear to God, a college student can put you to shame. You know what we do in papers in colleges? We have to put reference materials. We have to make out this works cited. We have to put in where we got the information on. We have to do it in an APA or an APL or even an MLA style. For social study reports, for English reports, all these required a hell of a lot of words, 6 to 8 pages worth. That's a lot of words to be typed out. But if you're used to it, it's no big deal. Have your notes, figure the stuff out, draft the damn thing, and then have fun with the words. And before you know it, you already got your essay, and then you got to redo it all again. Just make sure that everything else is neat and nice and tidy. You, on the other hand, Jesse, if you've ever been in a college, you ought to know this kind of research that we have to do all the damn time. Every student who has to draft up essays for professors has to do this kind of crap. Me too. I'm a student at Antelope Valley College, California. Lancaster, to be precise. I've been there for several years, having fun. I'm having fun. Coming close to graduation, and after that, I don't know what happens. Maybe I'll go for bachelor. Who knows? I'm only 58. I don't look it. I don't feel it sometimes. Other times I feel like I'm older than Methuselah. But even Methuselah, if he actually been put through a college or even university level of writing, oh boy, would he be having issues. And you, unfortunately. You and the other schmucks I keep running into don't even tag up. You throw all these damn clips out there, but you don't reference your damn material. I have to keep doing it for mine. I have to be reminded of what I'm doing because if I'm going to be mentioning it, I have to be reminded of it, and then I have to have somebody else remind me of the damn stuff. They got to catch me on this one so I can be on my game. But if I'm being reminded, and I'm really not on my game, so I have to admit to that one now, don't I? Meanwhile, with your belly aching concerning about this Steve Bannon and his mouth crap, you're worrying about, oh my God, he's influencing young people. Yeah, well, they're influencing a hell of a lot of young people out there. So is TikTok, so is Instagram, so is, well, let's stay the hell off the Facebook. They like the younger stuff. Even Twitter. But I seriously doubt they're going to be that much of a lunatic unless they're going to be taking responsibility upon themselves to be martyrs. Shedding blood for the almighty God, Trump himself. Let us give thanks to almighty God, Trump, as he leads us towards wherever the hell we're going to. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. I really got to get that clip. I really do. Okay, hold on. Oh, yeah. There we go. That was the one I was on there. Okay, There we go. Not the fight scene, but I just wanted the Khalil crap. Because it was important. Apparently they don't have the Khalil out there. Shit. That's one thing I wanted to say. Because I was hoping maybe to catch this Khalil worshipping stuff. Buck Rogers in the 25th Century television show. You'd be surprised what sticks in a kid's head growing up these days. Especially back in the 70s and 80s. I can find the videos on this one. I'll be posting this thing in there. I don't want the damn trailers. I want the worship. I want them to say, Khalil, 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 Khalil. It kind of reminds me of a lot of people we recognized back in the 70s and 80s, didn't it? Jim Jones, you ever remember that asshole? But I'm your number one guy here. I will get you closer to God. You must follow me because I am the light and the truth and the way. I am the messenger for God. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm doing David Koresh, aren't I? Waco. Ain't that funny? See, I remember these assholes. I remember them. And they are so much idiots. I kid you not. It just, I don't know, it just gives me sick to my stomach every time I keep thinking about this damn crap because watching this show. Cheesy, cheeky, and full of camp. You gotta love it. But even representations of that is showing what we're dealing with these days. You just have to look at the damn analogies left and right. Writers sneak in truth one way or another. You just have to understand where they're snaking it into and how to put things into perspective. You're from the military. I get it. You're former Congress and you're former Marine. So you got black and white. You're not seeing the gray area. Except if in your Congress, then you actually see the gray area and it probably pisses you off. You hadn't stayed in Congress long enough, did you? And how come I never heard you in Congress in the first place? Let's take a look at you. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at you in the system over there. So let's see what we got. Let's take a look at your record. Yeah, why not? YouTube left and right, YouTube left and right. Here we go. Podcast left and right. No, I want more. I want to dig into your history here while I got you here, pal. Is it scaring you? No, because I want to know about you. I want to know what the hell is going on. So, pause. Boise, Idaho University? Okay. Was it the law? Was it political science? Was it history? So what was your topic, dude? What was your major? What was your minor over there? And getting into a university like that? You must have been sucking up the grants or you must have been working 2 or 3 jobs just to afford entry fee, not to mention trying to get the materials necessary for the classes. Was it a 4-year or 6-year stint? I'm asking because me being in a lower range of community college, I think I got a lot of information out of the thing over several years, taking 2 classes at a time. There were reasons for that. If you ever watched my channel without you constantly trying to feed your piranhas out there on your channel, I never asked for volunteers. I never asked for followers or anybody, but they're doing it. My channel was specifically originally for memories, and in case my immortal corpse happens to decay to the point where it goes into ashes, into non-existence, at least there'll be something about me telling about family history out there. And maybe if some of the people are going through a hell of a lot of mental crap I'm going through these days, maybe they would understand. Even the professionals out there. Currently, I'm a caregiver to my dog. He's having issues. Been caregiver to my brother and my mother. Take a screenshot. Slow down the video. Look at the writing on the shirt. Understand what's on my left-hand side. The basis of my channel. Grieving, mourning, life experiences. And there she goes. Slinking up. So, what I've been doing was trying to keep a promise to my mother that I screwed up over 35 years ago. Never made it through college after high school. I worked my ass off. I didn't go in the military. I was medically 4F. You try going into the service with a ticker, with heart surgery scrambled all over it. Yeah, not fun for a 4-year-old to go through death 3 times and come back to life and expect to be normal after that. Define normal these days. Regarding what you were saying, if you've been through the university, you ought to know about research. You ought to know about how to post things out there for people to research to understand where the hell you're coming from. You talk about this stuff, but I swear, dude, you're so... Oh. You make college students look bad. You actually are from the University of Boise. So maybe you're not doing them a bit of favor at this point. Was it all the damn paperwork you had to go through running those political campaigns with everybody else in the probably House and the Senate and other races? Didn't you have to do a hell of a lot of research and then back it up with all the references just in case? No? Good Lord, you suck at writing then. I'm not exactly spring chicken when it comes down for writing myself, thank you very much. But at least I have to know where the hell my facts are and research them enough to get a paper going through the classrooms. And at least make the argument concise and coherent enough. So if anybody happens to research the damn thing, I don't get nailed for plagiarism. I think we had to do the same damn thing on our YouTube channels as well, just to keep our own selves accountable, transparent, and responsible. Isn't that an easy thing to do? But you're expecting it from everybody else, and you're disappointed and you're laughing about it. I don't know who's worse with the piranhas, the corporate media or you independent schmucks out there. Yeah, I did use the word. Not a very nice word? Tell me about it. You're using the same type of attitude with everybody else left and right. But that doesn't mean I'm a Trumper or anything else like that. No, screw that noise. I already think they're brain dead idiots in the first place. And some of my channels, I keep saying, and I blame the voters because they are illiterate, ignorant as hell. And if they are educated, they are ignorant as hell. And they're not seeing it as it should have been. But then again, it's my own personal opinion, covered by the First Amendment. Now, me constantly calling you a schmuck at this point over here is character defamation. But if you are a political figure out there, does it make you open season? You're a public figure, dude. And if you actually ran for office and worked in places like that, would it also make you open season as well for character defamation? People will be calling you a hell of a lot of names and you'll let it roll off your chest. And there's a hell of a lot of people who are going to be cursing your ass out. And we're not opening up that other Pandora's box either, because I'm keeping that one close. So I'm focused on you. It's called dignity and respect. Yeah, I've been raised by her. And then again, unfortunately, there's hardly ever women like that of her ilk ever again. No, because they want to denigrate. They want to denigrate people left and right. There may be some good people out there. You found one. Hold on to that one. She sounds more like a university survivor than you do. And coming from a guy from a community college level, But then again, I'm relishing it. I'm seeing some of these responses out there. I'm also catching out you guys going after the little fish and saying, "Look at these little fish over here!" Ah! You guys are pathetic. You guys are really reaching. You guys are egomaniacs driven crazy because you want your numbers on these things. I never asked for followers, and yet I've got a few. Not many, not like tens of thousands or millions. That must be a hell of an ego you got on your head. I know I've got a hell of an ego on my head, but I don't like having it that way. I have to be ridiculed, humiliated, and humbled. Why? Because that's how it works. Getting back to the topic here, we've already gone past the landmines on this one. It's guys like him, Steve Bannon. Oh, yeah, they are preying on everybody else, just like Trump, like every other day and bottom feeder out there. They want the followers to go over the cliffs with them. Said before about Jim Jones. Remember him? David Koresh, and a few other nut jobs out there that we haven't even seen, except except when they're being put on public display left to right, and sometimes getting in corporate media or local media's camera, and then they get exposed, and then they have a conniption fit. Case in point, was it in New Mexico? There was this one, I don't know, county seat where this one schmuck went over to January 6th uprising, had himself a party over there, went through the halls. He got his ass busted. He got himself jailed, and he was trying to get his jobs or trying to get something going where he had to apply all the way over to the Supreme Court. Court looked at him like, you got to be kidding me. Trump did the same damn shit, and we let him go because of the Colorado ballot. But now you want your seat back because they found out a bunch of truth. And it's state. It's not federal. We're not touching it. We touch federal. We don't do the states. Let the state Supreme Courts do that one. If there's any civil rights violations, that's a different story altogether. But this guy's trying to get his seat back, and he's forcing the federal government to do that for him. And the federal government said, excuse me? I don't think so, Scooter Boy. Trump may do that regarding about the federal ballot concerning about the upcoming elections for the federal position. But not for the state. Implied powers. That means reading the Constitution. My God, you keep showing the damn thing. But do you ever try to pick out which particular section of the Constitution you got a mention of implied powers, or is that well beyond you, Jess? God bless. I got to do everything for you. A lowly college student from a community college instead of a big-ass university's got to do the research for your ass. Yes, Constitution implied powers. Somewhere in the Constitution of government here. Let's see if I can go into that one there. Constitution annotated. How about the constitution.congress.gov? We're going to Article S 1.3.3. Article Section 1. Actually, Article 1, Section 1. We are going into Section 3. It's a whole thing. Here we go. All legislative powers hereby granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall be consisted of a Senate and House of Representatives. Supreme Court has recognized 4 general categories of powers belonging to the national government: enumerated, implied, resulting, and inherent. Enumerated powers are those specifically identified in the Constitution. In McCullough v. Maryland, Chief Justice John Marshall recognized that the Constitution expressly provides the national government with specific enumerated powers, stating, quote, "This government is acknowledged by all to the..." Okay, try that again. Yeah, my glasses, my eyesight, so I blame them. "This government is acknowledged by all to be one of enumerated powers. The principle that it can exercise only the powers granted to it would seem too apparent to have required to be enforced by all those arguments which its enlightened friends, while it was depending before the people, found it necessary to urge. That principle is now universally admitted. And my God, they've actually got sections in here too. Quoted error. They got bookmarks. Cool. Section 1, actually, Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution lists various powers that the states secede to the national government. Powers include tax and spend, to paraphrase, borrow, and regulate commerce. It is not exclusive list of powers the Constitution expressly grants to the national government, nor its constituent branches. For instance, Congress shall also have the power to regulate the electoral process under Article 1, Section 4, and the President has the power to veto legislation under Article 1, Section 7. Here we go, boys and girls. Implied powers are those powers necessary to effectuate powers enumerated in the Constitution. In other words, the Constitution enumeration of powers implies an additional grant of such powers that are necessary to effectuate them. In McCulloch v. Maryland, Chief Justice Marshall declared that the power conferred by the necessary and proper clause embraces all legislation means which are appropriate to carry out the powers provided expressly by the Constitution. You want to rewind that again and listen to that one. Chief Justice Marshall listed, "Let the end be legitimate. Let it be within the scope of the Constitution, and by all means, or actually in all means, which are appropriate, which are plainly adapted to that end, which are not prohibited but consistent with the letter and spirit of the Constitution, are constitutional." In his commentaries on the Constitution of the United States, Justice Joseph Story discussed implied powers, noting that any analysis of whether a power is constitutional must first begin by determining whether the Constitution expressly provides for the power. If the Constitution does not expressly state or enumerate the power, the question then becomes if such a power is necessary to implement a power expressly provided by the Constitution. He goes on to a long list of stuff on this one. But granted, he's got footnotes on this one. With the Constitution.government.gov, at least they put footnotes in the damn thing. About 27 worth of it. Holy cow. Now, if I could just try to get what the general implied thing means about the implied powers, I want to see what the Constitution says in its entirety for it. So I'm going over to Cornell Law School. That's the law.cornell.education/constitution. We are doing the implied or inherent powers overview. The annotated version. Article 2, Section 2, Clause 3. The President shall have power to fill up all vacancies that may happen during the recess of the Senate by granting commissions which shall expire at the end of the session. Scratch your head on that one. What I'm also trying to look for is whether or not the implied powers is mentioned here. See, isn't research fun? This is what students have to contend with. I have to figure out where the hell this stuff is at to figure out what they're talking about regarding implied powers. Where is it mentioned in the Constitution? So we got to ask that one. Okay. Constitution, Congress on that one. Let's say constitutionus.com. I want to see where in section of it. But it's already been mentioned. Article 1, Congress, implied powers in the Constitution. Give me that blasted Constitution. Where the hell is it? Okay, that's it. I need to see the damn thing. Because I know where the hell it is, so let's take that out. Let's take that out. I need to see the whole thing. Archives. That'll work. I'll be able to have something download I can actually take a look at here to see what the hell's going on. I want to see the entire text of the damn thing. I want to see Article 1, Legislative Branch. Okay. Impeachment, judgment, section 4. Holding elections. Okay, shall sweet a judge, he shall do his proceedings, give a journal. Section 6 shall have compensation. Asking revenue. Establish, and where is the implied there? So, bunch of wonderful things over here, but the one thing I hadn't seen was they were talking about implied powers. Research, research, research. English is a wonderful thing if you understand connotations and denotations and how to read in between the lines. Even history and political science will teach you that sometimes. You have to read and research. You hold the paperwork in your hands, Jess. Did you see the 10th Amendment? The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, comma, nor prohibited by it to the states, comma, are reserved to the states respectively, comma, or to the people. See, hello to the implied powers right there. It's black and white. The 10th Amendment. This is part of the Bill of Rights. This is part of the Bill of Rights. You were having a conniption fit concerning about the states versus the federal situation. You had a conniption fit concerning about what can be said, what can't be said. And you also had a problem concerning about the state's powers versus the federal powers. Even when it comes down for court cases. Why Trump got off with the Colorado state ballot. Colorado was suing for the federal. It should have been the federal suing his ass, and they didn't. A state was trying to keep Trump off the federal. That's not part of the Constitution. That's a separation of powers right there. But the idiot out in New Mexico, yeah, he could be off of it. Because the states and the Supreme Court won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Bannon and his mouth and his ilk are trying to skirt and navigate their way through the Constitution. And if we do have judges out there following the Constitution in any way, shape, or form, I may have to have a slight bit of faith and belief in that, and also in the system that we've been living under for nearly, oh, God knows, over 240 years or more than that. Coming up in 250. The 250th anniversary when it comes up. And I'll be old enough to see that one happen in my lifetime. Hopefully. I'd like to see that in 76. Or actually, I'll be happy enough when I just get past to that age anyway. Anyway, we'll talk more later. You call yourself a college graduate? Oh my God.